That end of the stadium will drive the experience for the rest of the fans inside of the stadium. It'll be singing, it will be chanting, it will be tifos, it will be smoke. It will be a lot of different things that will drive this iconic feel.
Hey there, ALSD. Jared Frank, your editorial director, here on location again with the Minnesota United Football Club. Got a real treat for you now, here with CEO Chris Wright. Chris, thanks so much for joining us.
Jared, thanks for being here.
So I thought a good place to start is with some of your past experience. Most of us in this business know you from your 26 years with the Timberwolves and the Lynx. What sort of led you to transitioning from that brand to this new brand here in the same marketplace?
Lots of things to what you asked, Jared, but number one, I came from soccer. So I played, I coached, was the general manager of a couple of franchises over here. Pittsburgh Spirit, Minnesota Strikers, before I found my way to the NBA. So I'm back to my first passion. I'm back to my love, and really what a way to sort of maybe end a career by building a brand new stadium, building a team, so the team side of this operation reports to me as well, but then also building the business and really establishing the franchise here in the marketplace. So all of that, the other piece of it that is was very compelling was the ownership group, led by Dr. McGuire, but with Glenn Taylor, who I'd encouraged actually to invest in this team, and as the team sort of emerged in the MLS last year, but then the Pollard family, the Binger family from the McKnight Foundation, Matt Methune from the Methune family, Campbell Methune, the Mortensen family, one of the top 3 builders in the country, Jeremy Jacobs from Delaware North, all part of the ownership group. And that piece of it was really compelling for me, because I think when you look at the power of the ownership group, how this ownership group could potentially take this team not only to market, but how it could become a flagship franchise for the MLS.
Even with all the experience of all of those stakeholders that you mentioned, you started by saying chance to build a stadium, chance to build a franchise, chance to build a business. So it's more of a startup mentality than an established brand. So transitioning from, again, the Timberwolves and the Lynx, which was established in this marketplace, to something brand new and fresh and exciting, that's 2 different mindsets and 2 different mentalities for running a business. So can you talk a little bit about the differences and why you wanted to, at the end of your career, shift to a startup mentality?
Yes, I've been involved with really 2 startups previous to this one. Pittsburgh Spirit, when I took over the Pittsburgh Spirit, Edward J. DeBartolo had taken a franchise that had been in mothballs for a while, and so he gave me the opportunity to lead that organization. So we established the MISL in what was the American football city of the country, Pittsburgh, in a big way, and lots of incredible sort of business lessons out of that. Then the Minnesota Lynx, obviously when we brought them to market here, establishing them in this marketplace. So this is really the 3rd time that I've been down a path of a quasi sort of expansion franchise, startup, however you want to describe it, but getting in on the ground floor of really, what do you want this stadium to be? How do you describe the atmosphere of the stadium? What do you want the fans to feel when they walk in and walk out of the stadium? And so we want that to be iconic and really sort of declare a vision for the franchise in terms of fan experience and how we're going to put all of that together. But then, what is this team going to represent? What is the style of play? What type of players are we looking for? And then obviously to build a front office to be able to support all of that and build a business to support all of that. That always has been an incredible challenge for me. We went through a lot of different types of years with the Minnesota Timberwolves. We were out of the playoffs for a long time, so we had to reinvent ourselves often during that 12-year period of time. This is my opportunity to sort of really invent with 72 great professionals what this franchise is going to be. And that for me is the potential of leaving a legacy for what this franchise can be in this marketplace for a long period of time.
Let's stay with the new facility, Allianz Field. How would it compare to what we've seen come online in Major League Soccer in recent years, and how is it going to lead the next crop that comes up behind you in terms of new builds and major changes and makeovers to the facilities?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the very first differentiator is really the fact that we are not supported by any form of public financing whatsoever. So it's a privately financed stadium, which is very, very unusual today. There is a level of maybe stadium fatigue in this marketplace. I came from an environment, whereby Glenn Taylor put in 50 million plus of 150 million that went into Target Center. So to a degree, Target Center was subsidized by, public money. This is not. So the ownership group here is basically funding not only the expansion, $100 million, but a $200 million stadium. The good news, bad news there is that we can design it without any influence really from a public entity that is going to be part of the stadium, and this is beautifully designed. So if you take a look at Bayern Munich's stadium in Germany, if you take a look at the work that Populous is doing worldwide right now, and especially with Tottenham Hotspurs and White Hart Lane, we have a great architect who is bringing an awful lot of different ideas, but we have a real vision for the look and feel of the stadium. That will be number one. And number two, the iconic piece of the stadium is going to be something that we're going to call Wonderwall, which is 2,800 safe standing areas inside of one end of the stadium where there will be no seats, where our supporter section will be. If you take a look at Borussia Dortmund and the Great Yellow Wall of 23,000 fans, this is a much smaller version of that, but we're going to establish that end of our stadium. That end of the stadium will drive the experience for the rest of the fans inside of the stadium. It'll be singing, it will be chanting, it will be tifos, it will be smoke. It will be a lot of different things that will drive this iconic feel that we have inside of the stadium. And also, it's a very tight stadium, so it's being designed so that there is not really a bad seat in the house. It's very sheer. Arguably the worst seat in the house will be a very, very good seat. Everybody will feel on top of the playing surface. So in terms of creating a home court, home field feel for our team, we're going to be able to do that very easily with 20,000 rabid fans that we're going to have in there every single game.
So you mentioned Wonderwall. I know you have you've done a phenomenal job here of creative storytelling and creating this brand, Wonderwall being one segment, one chapter of that story. Just so people aren't making assumptions or wondering what the heck are they talking about, what is Wonderwall? What does that mean?
Yeah, there's a tradition inside of our stadium. Obviously, soccer is built around traditions. We have three incredible traditions. We have a march to the match. We have something that is called Scarves Up, which is our marketing theme this year, but every single time we have a corner kick, 20,000 fans raise scarves above the head, twirl them. And then we have this Wonderwall tradition where at the end of a game, when we have won, all of our players go and stand in front of our supporter section, link arms, and our fans sing the Oasis song, Wonderwall. And it really came out of our locker room probably about 4 or 5 years ago, where two players, when they won games, used to sing this song inside of the locker room. Our fans heard that. They basically took it into the stands, and then after a game, they basically sing that back to our team. It's an incredible tradition, and I would say go YouTube the video of Minnesota United fans singing to the players. It sort of gives you goosebumps when you hear this. So we're going to name that area of our stadium, after that song, and who knows. Can we get Liam Gallagher back to sing it as part of our opening weekend? We don't know that yet, but I mean, obviously, some great opportunities for us to maximize that opportunity.
Taking a step back, looking at the entire site, can you tell us the advantages of the site over in St. Paul, and why did you select to put your stakes down there?
I think obviously the land deal was very, very important. There were a number of different areas where we could have placed the stadium, Minneapolis, Bloomington, and St. Paul. But I think in the end, if you begin to take a look at its position between the two cities, St. Paul has a really rich history in soccer. The Lagos family, they're a very, very well known. Buzz Lagos is known as the grandfather of soccer in the state of Minnesota. He goes back to the Minnesota Thunder Stars days when this team played up in sort of Blaine, Minnesota. So it's equidistant between the two cities, on a major highway, I-94, on the light rail transit site and on the greenway. These days, so many different ways that people get to games and leave games, but the fact that people will be able to cycle to a game is incredible. With the light rail right there, a station right outside, which we will hopefully rename Allianz Field Station. And then there are 6 universities within 6 miles of the stadium, all really sort of somewhat within walking distance of the stadium, some within 3 miles. So not only from a staffing standpoint, but from a fan support standpoint, it seemed like the ideal location. And the Midway area, that's the name of the geographical location, have really embraced us. We're beginning to work with chambers of commerce, the non-profits inside of that area, build relationships with them so that we're accepted into the neighborhood in the right way.